Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk about a new foundation, and it is the awesome Too Faced Pour in This Way foundation. I finally picked it up. I had been looking for my color, and while I don't feel like I found one that was exact, like in person, you probably can't tell in the camera, but still, I didn't find a perfect match, but I think I was able to make it work for me. And so I've been using it, I've used it about 3 or 4 different times, and I want to talk about this guy. Also in this video, I am talking about the Oval 6 MAC brush. So I'm going to do a tutorial and a review on both. So before the tutorial, I'm going to do the review. Now this guy, we're gonna start with him. This is a medium to full coverage. I feel like right off the bat, you kind of get in between, like a not medium but not full, and that is how I have it on right now. And this is the Born This Way foundation. It is oil-free. It's supposed to be undetectable, medium to full coverage foundation. So true. I think it looks amazing on the skin. I definitely agree with medium to full coverage. And then on the side, it says it has coconut water in it, which I have been obsessed with coconut water recently. Ever since I got this primer, I've just been all about it. And what that's going to do is to delicately replenish skin's moisture level. It's not my video if I can't read, right? So let me try this again. Delicately replenish skin's moisture levels. And just a little tidbit of information about myself. I am dyslexic and I put things backwards, and I'm sure you guys have probably noticed that by now. Alpine Rose, and that is to brighten skin's appearance and promote elasticity. I said that word pretty well, right? Elasticity. And then hyaluronic acid for a smoother, more youthful appearance. And that hyaluronic acid is also going to help retain the moisture in your skin. So this is putting the moisture into your skin, and then that hyaluronic acid is helping it to stay there. This also states that 100% of people said that this foundation blurred their imperfections. I agree. 98% said that this foundation made their skin look absolutely perfect. I would not say that my skin looked absolutely perfect, but I do not think that a foundation can make your skin look absolutely perfect. It does not get rid of texture, and it does not hide everything, but I think my skin looked pretty darn good. 97% of people said that this foundation provided natural coverage. I agree with that as well. I feel like it is a full coverage foundation. However, it doesn't look cakey or too much on the skin. Even in person, it still looks good. Today, I obviously applied this with this brush, but I love it with a beauty blender as well. And honestly, I love the finish of this. And this is a slightly drier foundation. It did not accentuate any of my dryness, and it also did not make me super oily throughout the day. I have worn this with my motorcycle, 95 degrees, and we were good. And actually, a little story, just a second, sorry. I finally was able to go past my accident site. Like, freaking yes, I was so excited. I have waited 3 months, been terrified, and I finally went back through and around my accident site, and I didn't die. So anywho, the reason why I'm telling you this story is because I had this foundation on, and when I reached the top of the hill, I was so overcome by excitement that underneath my helmet, I started crying, and we stopped at a gas station. And I was like, do I have lines all over my face? Because she was like, why are you crying? I was like, I'm excited. And I didn't have any lines all down my face, so good. I was so impressed with that. I was like, man, I should have worn my waterproof, and I was good. So I like this foundation a lot. I love the finish of it. I love how long it lasts. I really like this foundation. So finally, another one I will not have to return because I will be getting use out of this bad boy. Now for the MAC Oval 6 brush. Now this was released years ago, and I feel like it was like 2 years ago, maybe a little longer. And when it first released, people were having issues with this guy breaking. And because of that, they stopped production of it. You couldn't get it for the last year, and it's finally available again. And I have been like swooning over this brush. I've wanted it for so long, and I finally got it. And it has been redesigned to where this isn't gonna break on you. This is very, very, very sturdy. I'm pressing and yeah, it's good. This isn't gonna bust. And the application that this gives is the best second to my Beauty Blender. There are some foundations that I actually like this one better with, like my Clé de Peau. That and this, it's amazing together. When I use this brush, I don't find my makeup settling into my fine lines or into my smile lines like I do a lot of the times with other foundation brushes. And that's because it puts too much product down and it doesn't distribute it as evenly. And this guy does. I can use it for my foundation and for my concealer. You can actually use this for your lotions, moisturizers, sunscreen, primers, everything. It's really good. Will it replace my Beauty Blender? No, but it will make it to where I'm not using my Beauty Blender nearly as much, and so I won't have to replace my Beauty Blender as much. So this was a great investment. It is $42 and I do not regret a cent of it. Now before I go in with the tutorial on how I applied this foundation so you can see what it looks like on the skin and how well the brush performed, I obviously used it, so I'm going to tell you guys how to clean it. Now, when I'm going in between foundation and concealer, I just take it and on a just dry paper towel, get off the extra foundation, and then go in with my concealer. Now, when I need to clean it, I tend to spot clean it and only clean it like once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on how much I use it. So I would spray my MAC cleanser on a towel or paper towel, take this, and clean out all the extra gunk on here. So this is what I would do if I want to use it again without having to really deep clean it. And this is just gonna get all the extra foundation out and we're good to go. And whenever I lay this down, I tend to put it on something, let me see. I'm gonna use this cup as an example because you can't see my vanity, but I tend to leave it over the edge of my vanity. So we don't want any moisture to get down in this part here because there is glue holding these hairs. So what I'm going to do is just show you on this little cup, like my little pink cup. I will set it on the edge of either my counter or my vanity, something, and leave it like this so that no moisture gets up in here. Now, if I'm going to wash it, I can use my MAC cleanser. You can use whatever cleanser you like to use. Sometimes I use baby shampoo, and I'll take the shampoo and I'll put it in my palm like this, take my brush, and start working it into the soap. Then when I go to rinse it, I kind of lean it a little bit to the side, but I won't turn it completely upside down. So I lean it to the side, really massage the brush hairs so that we get all the soap out, and then I will take a towel or a paper towel, get the extra water out, and then lay it the same way so that, again, no moisture is up in this area. Anywho, enough of my jabbering. You guys, if you'd like to see how I use this brush and how the foundation works, just keep watching. So I'm going in using my current favorite primer for hydrating the skin. This is the Marc Jacobs Undercover Primer. It's got coconut water in it, yada yada. I'm gonna take a pump and a half of this, and I'm going to put this all over my face. This foundation is a tidbit drier than most of my foundations, so I really like to go in with something that's extra hydrating. This may seem very strange, but I like to take a sponge kind of like this, and around the areas that I don't want too much moisture, I'm going to dab this. So it's going to pick up the extra bit of primer that we have, and that way you don't become so oily in those areas, and it helps to make it look a little less shiny. I also like to do this either with my foundation or my concealer. Sometimes my concealer I like to, well, not sometimes, all the time I like for my concealer to be a little bit more on the hydrating side underneath my eyes, but because I highlight, I bring the concealer down. So in this area right here, I don't want that much moisture or hydration, so I just tap off the extra, and it does the same thing. Now I'm going to grab my MAC Skin Refine Zone, and I'm going to put little dots of this on my pores and a small amount on my chin. This is, again, my favorite thing in life right now, this combo of this primer and the, I guess this is a treatment, This one and the Makeup Forever together is my jam. This stuff is not meant to go all over the face, so don't do that. Once this gets nice and tight feeling, yes, it will feel pretty tight, which is amazing on your pores. I'm going to take the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, the smoothing one, and put that right over top. You should not see your pores at all after this. Now I'm gonna grab the foundation. And again, this is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I love that it comes with a pump. And I'm gonna take this like a pump and a half onto my little pan here and going in with the brush. I'm gonna grab a little bit. I'm gonna take just a tiny bit on here and then start over here and make sure it's really good into the brush before I go onto the skin. And I start off by swiping downward. Make sure that you're going downward because we have tiny little hairs on our face that if you're going this way, we're coating both sides of those hairs and making them much more visible. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going, and it gets into all these areas so well. I love this brush. Like, look at that. That's like, oh, and this foundation's really nice as well, I must say. And that's just one thin layer. I do go back and forth on my forehead. You can do more of a buffing motion like this on your forehead. Just don't do too much of that on your cheeks because we don't want to accentuate those hairs. This just gives such a flawless finish. I really like it. But I don't feel like there's a ton of makeup left behind. You know, like you get too much in certain areas and then it starts to fall into lines and oh, it's gross. I can get down the neck really easily and quickly. Okay, so this is where if you wanted to, you could go in and take your brush and grab a little bit more product and go over any areas that you wanted to have some extra coverage, but I don't want that. I feel like this little layer right here is about between medium and full. You could definitely bump this up to full. And I've got to say, look how much is left on here. There's a nice little, at least like probably a pump. When I'm using my beauty blender, I've never used this brush with this foundation before this video. I put down the same amount that I use with my beauty blender, and this is how much I have extra left over using this brush, and this is the beautiful finish that I got, so holy crap. I really like that this foundation does not accentuate my pores. It doesn't accentuate my dryness around my mouth. And I've worn it several times and I don't get super oily. I do get a little bit more shiny, but I kind of do that with all foundations, but not bad. Like, I think this is super pretty. It's so nice to actually start liking some foundations again. Like, I loved the Dior Air Flash and I'm loving this one. I wasn't having much luck with a few foundations recently. So now I want to use this brush for my concealer too. So I'm not going to get it wet, but I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm just going to wipe off the extra on this paper towel. All right, I'm going to go in with my Mineralize Concealer and highlight. Now I'm going to take this brush and at first I'm going to press it into the skin by making little dabbing motions. And then lightly sweep so that it blends into the foundation. Do you see how impeccable that is? I love this brush. On my skin up here, I'm just sweeping. I don't feel the need to push it in like I do on my under eye. So easy to work with. That brush is really good and it's really soft on my skin. It doesn't feel abrasive. I really love that thing. So now I'm gonna go finish off my makeup and I will be back. Now I am back with my makeup look on and surprise, I totally filmed this for you guys because I tend to get people saying, did you film this look? And I don't all the time, so I did today and that will be up soon, so just watch out for it. And yes, I'm gonna have the same outfit on, but you guys forgive me, right? Anywho, I love this foundation. I love this brush. I give them both 2 thumbs up and I highly recommend them both. I can see this foundation working for most people. If you can get your color, try it out. The brush is phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about it. I really like that brush. It's probably my favorite. It is my favorite foundation brush I have ever had. Anywho, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and come back and see me soon. Bye!